one of the factors influencing obesity that makes it so hard for people to lose weight is leptin resistance. Okay, leptin tells your body that you're full and it is produced by fat tissue. However, you can override this by chronic overeating, and eventually your body becomes resistant to it just because there's so much leptin floating around in your body that it doesn't recognize it anymore. It's like doing drugs and getting tolerant to the drugs, and then they don't do anything for you after a while. Or caffeine, for example, right? If you drink coffee every day, eventually the coffee doesn't stimulate you anymore and wake you up. You need more and more over time, and then eventually just nothing happens because you're so burned on it, right? So this is what happens with leptin, and it really makes it hard for people to lose weight because they're just so hungry all the time, right? They're not getting any of that hormone telling them, hey, you've had enough, right? You need to cut back. And unfortunately, there's not really a lot of good treatments or therapies for this, but one of the things that has been observed in obese people and people with leptin resistance is zinc deficiencies, right? They just don't have enough zinc, and there could be a correlation between that and the leptin resistance. So, one thing you want to make sure is you're eating a healthy diet, right? A healthy diet is going to kind of help cover all those bases, including getting that zinc in your body, right? Plus, you want to start cutting out trans fats and a lot of these saturated fats that can help contribute to inflammation, because that can also contribute to leptin resistance, right? So if you're struggling with appetite, the first thing that you have to do is honestly stop looking for a quick fix, right? Stop looking for things that are going to suppress your appetite, because you already blew that out of the water, okay? What you need to do is make lifestyle changes to improve your body's ability to respond to leptin. And this is going to suck at first, right? Because one of the best ways to do this actually is by making yourself more hungry, by reducing your caloric intake. And that's one of the reasons people have kind of gotten into intermittent fasting, is because these like short periods of time where they are not eating helps increase their leptin sensitivity. Now, the thing about intermittent fasting is you have to be really careful not to overeat when you break your fast, and you also have to be careful, not to fast too long, probably 6 to 8 hours, during the day. So that like 6 to 8 hours after you wake up is going to be optimal. Now, the caveat to that is I think intermittent fasting is only good for people who have a lot of weight to lose, because the benefits outweigh the risks. In a person who is a healthy weight, intermittent fasting can really damage their hormone production. However, in an obese person or a really overweight person, intermittent fasting can improve the leptin sensitivity and some insulin sensitivity, but the weight coming off will also improve their hormone function, so that works for them. But eventually you're going to need to go to a more sustainable diet that's better for your health, right? So basically, if you are struggling with appetite control, we want to look at that leptin resistance, and we have to figure out how to work around that, right? There's not really a quick fix, because your body doesn't respond to it, okay? So pretty much all you can really do is change your lifestyle, exercise more, and eat better. And start cutting back on your calories. That's the bottom line. And then, your body is going to have to adjust, which thankfully, it can do on its own. But one thing that will definitely help, because you're going to be hungry at first, is you want to eat high quality foods, right? You want to keep your protein high, because that's going to help keep you saturated. and you eat a lot of vegetables because those are going to sit in your stomach and also keep you full, right? Fats are good, but you need to watch the kind of fats that you eat. Don't eat a lot of animal fats. They've got all kinds of stuff going on there, right? Like cholesterol. We don't want to mess that up any more than it already is, right? Like we want to go for our lean cuts of meat, like our lean ground beef, leaner fish. I mean, honestly, even if you're eating like salmon, that's probably going to be an improvement from what you were doing before, right? We want to watch processed foods, right? So no processed foods. If you can make it from a box, don't eat it, okay? So all that is going to add up to contributing to leptin resistance, right? We want to eat everything whole foods, okay? And then carbs, complex carbs, stuff that's really going to like sit in your stomach for a while and help keep you full is what we want while we're working on overcoming this leptin resistance. All right. And above all, just try not to push it too hard because you get a rebound effect, and you're going to be super hungry and you might be too hungry and not able to control it. And then we're just going to make the problem worse. Okay, y'all. So again, if you're really trying to lose weight, you have to understand that one of the biggest factors getting in your way is leptin resistance. Okay, it is literally the hormone that controls your appetite. Okay, and that it's going to make things very hard for you. But if you understand that, right, you can go into this journey ready to counter that and set your mind against being swayed by that, because now you know what's making you hungry and what's making you things so hard for you and what you have to do to get past that. All right, thanks.